Hey guys, what's up? How are you? I guess today's just a little bit of a vlog type situation. I am currently at a park. My main aim for today is to finish reading this book because I have a book club meeting about it later today. And I was never excited about it. I never really wanted to read it. It's really not my type of thing. Like fantasy stuff is just not the genre I am most in love with, because I feel like it's either done really well and it is the best thing ever, or it just always falls flat. Even if it's just like a 50-50 chance, which it's not, because I feel like 90% of fantasy is just plain not good. The world building is really just not believable. The characters aren't likable. The characters are 2D for most of the time. If it's not amazing, I don't care. I don't know. I hope I like it. I don't have much time to finish it. I need to finish 100 pages in 2.5 hours. And I think I can, because if you're reading at the rate of 1 page a minute, you should be able to finish 100 pages. Like, I really liked Harry Potter, and I did really enjoy the Lord of the Rings movies, but otherwise, it's just fantasy has never really been my thing, and I kind of feel deficient because I don't like fantasy so much, because I know a lot of people who don't read much. The only things they do read is fantasy. Even like what's the Pullman's trilogy called? Like the really famous one. The Golden Compass, the Golden Telescope, something. I read it, but and it was good, but I don't know if it was worth the time I put into it, because a lot of the time fantasy books, they're like 8 books long, or like 3 books long. Fine, it's a trilogy, it's not that long, but then like some of the books are like this thick, and it's just, I understand you're building a world, but is it always warranted? Sometimes yes, sometimes it is, but sometimes it's really not. And I've read some really great magical realism books, like Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King, and Landline by Rainbow Rowell, where it is set in the normal world today, but there is just like one rule difference in their world in order to create an interesting plot device. With Rainbow Rowell's Landline, the premise is that the woman is living in her normal everyday life, and then she has access to her old phone landline, and then when she's trying to call her husband, she ends up calling him, but like 20 years in the past, and she's talking to the man that she fell in love with and blah 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 20 years ago, instead of the man that she's married to right now. That was really interesting. No offense to this book yet, but like with a lot of fantasy, it's just okay, but why? One show I really liked was Rick and Morty, because I understood where they were going and I really loved what they were doing, and I just appreciated all of the, I guess, science fiction. Yeah, it's science fiction. All the science fiction, all of the stuff they derived from like fantasy plots and all the different, like, I just thought they did that excellently. That was so good. I do see the appeal, and then I sometimes find myself, when I'm writing my own works of fiction, I end up writing, you know, fantasy or dragons or something, but even then, it's not an entirely different, separate universe. When I'm writing, usually it's just like, okay, we're set in the normal world today, but then I am deriving from like Islamic mythology and from traditional stories of jinn and, you know, like interesting stuff like that. But then, I don't know, how do you guys feel about fantasy? Can you write fantasy if you don't like fantasy? Question mark. Anyway, I'm gonna inshallah finish reading this book. I'll take a little walk, and I'll go back to university and talk about this book. What's even worse is that this book is more like short stories, and I'm not a huge fan of short stories. There was this collection by Roald Dahl of like really freaky short stories that were really good. I think it was Roald Dahl. So creepy, so good. But as always, hope you're enjoying VEDA. I'll see you tomorrow. Subscribe if you'd like to. You can also hit the notifications button below, because I sometimes forget to tweet about my videos, and I sometimes, you know, I'm just not the best social media influencer. Can you be an influencer if you haven't influenced anyone? Don't answer that. Bye.